Cześć everyone, my name is Anita Wulikowska.
And my name is Ania Siemiączko, and we are your local foreigners.
And in today's episode, we are talking about British holidays. Every country has their own quirky, weird, or just maybe normal, very normal traditions and holidays. And Britain is certainly no different, but there are so many different holidays that were completely new to me. And I was like, oh, seriously? We've got a day off? And there's also like some kind of history behind it? Yay, okay.
Definitely.
So I want to start off by asking you, do you have your favourite British holiday?
Favorite British holiday?
And I mean, like, the day. It doesn't have to be a holiday, as in, like, it can be a bank holiday or just, like, like this special date in calendar.
Okay. Well, maybe as of recently, my newly favourite is not Burns Night. That's the January one. The Guy Fawkes Night one. That's the Guy Fawkes.
I think not the same thing.
Here we are.
Okay.
The first foreign gem of today's episode.
Shit. I'm already exposing my ignorance.
But maybe my brain thought they were the same as well because I kind of mixed them up and I started with Burns Night, meaning the Guy Fawkes Night.
So what's the Burns Night?
So Burns Night is the Scottish holiday celebrated at the end of January. And I don't know exactly what they do there.
Okay.
How you find out. Because I've never lived in Scotland and I haven't really got any Scottish friends in London to celebrate with.
Yeah.
Really. So I do have some Scottish friends, but I've never celebrated with them. But the Guy Fawkes Night, that's a different one. That's in November. And that's like really British and really weird because it's just an odd thing to still be celebrating a random Catholic guy being burnt to death.
Yeah.
It's quite grim, really. And
I know. And I've got a bit of a problem with that holiday because it's like
celebrating violence against God.
Exactly. Like, I think it's confused. I mean, the guy itself, Guy Fawkes, and I always have a problem pronouncing his surname, Guy Fawkes. Yeah. So he is the face, obviously, the famous face of that holiday, and sometimes I feel like people celebrate him, whilst in reality he was a terrorist, really.
But they burn him on. They burn a puppet of him.
But it's like, there's masks of him, and sometimes it feels like it's like a bit of a celebration of him because he's such a good marketing face of that holiday. I know the history is not a...
I just love that you called him a terrorist. I have to pause. I think that's the first time I've heard anyone describe Guy Fawkes as a terrorist.
Well, was he not? He was trying to blow up...
I guess he was a terrorist. Yeah, I think that's the most
accurate.
Times.
Probably one of the first terrorists in the UK.
But everyone burns him, like burns a puppet of him or puppet, I think. Puppet of him.
The doll.
I've never seen a doll of Guy Fawkes. I would love to see a doll of Guy Fawkes being burned. But then that must be plastic, then probably unhealthy.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a different thing.
Do not burn plastic.
Plastic dolls of Guy Fawkes. But it's just a weird thing to still have, in a way. Like a lot of things have happened in British history. Like a lot of battles, a lot of Catholic, Protestant shit, happened. And then it's just this one day that you celebrate someone's death, death penalty. And you celebrate it with fireworks. There's like no correlation between fireworks and burning him down.
Yeah.
But because I said it's my favourite holiday.
Exactly, please use some arguments to support this statement.
Well, I think it's just very kind of simple I think just the fireworks were great last year. And I thought for the first time ever, well, since I came to the UK, I really enjoyed Guy Fawkes Night because I had a brilliant time watching like the best fireworks.
Where did you watch them?
Crystal Palace.
In London?
Yeah.
That's a big one, right?
That's a big one. I didn't know anything about it. I was kind of asked along by a friend and they were spectacular. They were so good. Brilliant. And it was a fanfare ride and a whole fanfare night out. So yeah, it was just really fun and just really different from anything that we have. And not that fireworks are something new, but I don't know. It was fun.
Yeah, but it is a colourful night because of the fireworks and the fanfares and
Yeah. In November especially, like you need that end of November because November is such a grim month as well, you know?
Yeah.
It's a good timing for a holiday. But weird reason. But maybe that's what makes it actually quite great, this holiday, because it's just really creepy, weird holiday.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. Maybe.
Like it's not a cliche holiday, like, oh, we're celebrating someone being born or some anniversary. It's just someone being burned to death.
I know. Like I feel like we really should come up with some new ideas for holidays and make them really strong traditions, you know?
Because I feel like we're really good at that in Poland. We have
Are
like
we?
we always have like a holiday reason. You know, like Britain has bank holidays, which is just like, it's lovely, but why? No one understands. My parents always ask me.
But do you mean like the summer and spring bank holidays, or bank holidays as in why is it called a bank holiday?
Well, kind of both. I guess I'm asking both. So, because how many bank holidays do you have? Like just the non-reason bank holidays. There's a May one and there's August one. Is there any more?
I think this. Oh yeah, so spring bank holiday, that's the main one.
Yeah.
And then August. Yeah, maybe just the two.
Yeah, it's like they just call bank holidays. What are they celebrating? They're just a day off.
Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. So a bit pointless.
But it's
lovely, but
I was gonna say that the second one, the August bank holiday, are there not two bank holidays in August as well?
Yes.
Beginning at end of the month.
Exactly.
Maybe it's because it's summer, so it's like the typical season to go on holiday. So it's like, I have 2 days off, which is really nice. But at the same time,
you could find a reason for them, like you know, the Queen's Day or the the Tea Day, the Day of Tea. You know, like a reason to have this holiday where it's just called it a bank holiday and it's just a sad little holiday because it has no name. You know,
you mentioned Queen's Day. One of the I was gonna say holidays I really enjoyed, but I'm not sure if it is a holiday. You know, when sometimes there is like Queen's birthday or like the anniversary of something. I don't know when it was. The last time I think this happened when I was at uni. I think it was my second year of university. Was there not some kind of like jubilee of some sort?
Yes, that definitely happened when I was still in Wales, I think, or maybe after.
I think you were still there because it was beginning of university. And
okay, so that was not then. So that was a big anniversary when everyone's dressing the streets up for
exactly, and that was so beautiful. I remember that my street was turned into, it was like closed off, and there was is it banting, the little lines with the colourful.
It's weird in Wales though, isn't it, when that happens? I found it weird.
Why?
Because they got invaded like 800 years ago by the Queen.
Well,
and
but that was like a long time ago. I don't know. Isn't that beautiful that people still feel united? And it's a student town as well.
It was
so
many
people from other
we're
countries.
not in England.
But I really enjoyed that. I thought that was beautiful.
It was fun.
Yeah, and in general, that idea of making these street parties.
Yes, that's awesome.
That's so cool, right?
That is really cool.
I never saw that in Poland.
Yeah, we don't really have that. Maybe we used to, but we don't really have that. And we don't have the Queen. So the whole everything, all the holidays revolving around the Queen or monarchy.
We have the Jesus.
The Jesus
in Poland, of course. Or the Mary. I think Mary is the very celebrated figure in Poland, Saint Mary.
She's always been celebrated, no?
Yeah, she's the Queen of Poland, right?
She's the Queen of Poland.
And is Jesus like
Jesus
the Queen
is
of
the King of Poland? But
and she's not the Queen. We're getting into a very weird part of Polish culture.
I guarantee you that anyone listening to this right now who's never heard it will be questioning Poland as a whole.
Yes. Well, I'm questioning Poland as a whole as well.
But it's one of these is true. I think that Jesus is the king is true. I would put my money on that. Yeah.
Okay, maybe let's just maneuver ourselves back out of this.
Back to the Queen.
Yeah, exactly. To the Queen of England, the UK, Britain, and
Yeah, the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth.
exactly the country that I live in.
So holidays around the Queen. Nothing else actually, apart from bank holidays. That's it.
Would you classify Halloween as a holiday?
Yeah, I guess I would. Because I guess it's what are we considering a holiday? A day off by a government, or like a cultural tradition, which is not necessarily a day off.
Cultural tradition,
right?
Because
there's lots of
Guy Fawkes is not a day off, right?
Exactly, and that's I guess a holiday, as in celebration, like a national celebration of something. So yes, I guess I would. What's your take on Halloween?
It's changed over the years, so I didn't used to like it. And by the way, like, it's not a British holiday, so I get it.
Yeah,
but still, I think now
kind of big in UK.
Sorry,
it's kind of big now, isn't it?
Yeah. It's always celebrated. So, the first time I celebrated Halloween was in the UK. So that was the first time when I saw it, how it's actually done. And I thought that was brilliant. At the beginning, I was thinking that, oh no, it's so American and commercialized and everything.
Well, did you think that when you were in Poland still?
Yes.
All right.
And then when I came here and I took part, I was like, yeah, this is actually quite cool. And then I was still not sure about the cultural background of it. But now I actually really like the idea of having that one day when you, well, first of all, you think about death, but you also think about it in a more light-hearted way, and you just get around this idea and you remember those who passed away.
Do you think people do that though on Halloween?
I do.
I think that's more like our Remembrance Day thing in Poland, right? Because we do. I don't think people on Halloween do. I think people will just think of alcohol and face paint and candy in the UK. I honestly don't think, and this is a very interesting point, because that's the kind of origin, really, I guess, in a wider sense. But I don't think I've ever met anyone who'd mention that sort of reflective side of Halloween. Everyone's just like, Halloween, let's get smashed and wear silly costumes. In the UK, though.
Yeah, I agree that maybe people don't do it consciously, but the mere fact that you see skulls and it's all around death, and it's it's almost like a very dark comedy about death. I think subconsciously you do think about it, and through that having fun and almost laughing at death's face, you do come around to this idea. So I think subconsciously you do still consider it. Maybe you I don't think I've met anyone who'd be like, yeah, okay, let's have a minute to think about those who passed away. So I do like this fun take on death. However, at some point I didn't like the way we celebrated that day in Poland, because we have a similar day on the 1st of November, is it?
The Visiting Graves Day.
Yeah. So for me, that was always almost like an equivalent of very similar kind of holiday, and I didn't used to like it. But
really?
Then, yeah, and then I when I grew up, it was a couple of years ago, I think, for the first time I was like, no, actually, this is okay too. It's okay to have Halloween and to have it very commercial and a fun take on it, but it's also okay to find space to be sad and to remember.
Yeah, absolutely. I think ideally you want to have both, right? And kind of respect both traditions, because there's value in both of them. Yeah, definitely.
But having said that, I think I only took part in Halloween maybe a couple of times properly, that I dressed up. But it was just a really fun holiday. So if I was to pick my favorite, it would be Halloween.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a weird holiday. And this year,
holiday.
sadly, last year, in 2018, I didn't celebrate. I was like really late, and I was buying pumpkins really late, and I was going to carve them out. I didn't carve them out; they got rotten. And it's like, it was such a bad way to.
I've never done the pumpkin thing. It's just too much effort. That's the thing with Halloween. I think for me, because I used to really enjoy it when it was just going out with mates and partying and getting just dressed up, and then I can't be bothered to dress up now.
Yeah, true.
So I'm not that into the dressing up parties, really. I don't know. And then, the kind of like horror aspect is not really my thing anymore.
Not your vibe.
It's not my vibe. And the kind of this kind of everyone watching scary films and Halloween, and I can't watch any scary films because I'm too scared. And the kind of the general vibe, I'm not like against it, but I'm just kind of bored by it a little. Like I'm a bit of like is it Grinch in Christmas? Not Grinch.
Yeah.
It's like a Grinch of Halloween. Like I had my fun with it and I enjoyed it, but if someone cancelled Halloween next year, I would probably not even notice, because I would just be doing my thing. And actually, at that point, it was sort of like the saddest thing on Halloween, but kind of made me chuckle to myself in a Grinch sort of way.
Tell me.
When I was coming back home, there was this child with his mum, like both of them dressed up, like little basket for sweets, and obviously in the UK, because it's not widely celebrated as in America, so you can't just go around and knock on everyone's door asking for sweets, because that's just, probably not safe even. I shouldn't do that. So I think the way I recognize people that participate in Halloween is through decorations on the door in the house, and then you kind of know, someone's celebrating, so you can knock and get sweets, candy, whatever. And so I was passing this mum and son, and I just had a look around, and none of the houses on our street was decorated. And I was just, there's this little boy. It's like, what are you doing? Just mother, just take him home. Like, no one's doing it. Come on. I'm just going to wander the empty streets, Halloween-less streets of London. So yeah, but kind of, it made me laugh as well. It's quite like, it's tragic funny. This poor child with no sweets.
Poor kid.
Yeah.
I was a little bit freaked out because I had to go to the shop on the last Halloween, and I was like, oh shit, do I need to have like any candy on me? Is someone going to approach me? Because there were weird, like dodgy groups of kids who were like not really kids, but more into the teenage years, and I'm slightly scared of kids at that age. Early teenage years in London.
It's just Halloween all year round for you, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. When I see kids around that age, and I was like, oh my god, are they going to attack me if I don't have any? Not to insult any kids of that age. I am generalizing now, I know, but it did freak me out. And I was like, at some point, I was like, okay, just look down, go to the shop, quickly go back, avoid any eye contact. Do not make eye contact. So I was not approached, luckily, but...
Oh, I mean, I'm glad that you were safe, and, I would never wish that upon you, but kind of, it's quite funny how you could just imagine the headline of people being robbed of candy or attacked for not having candy on Halloween. Exactly. Gangs of children, sweet, sugar-hungry children attacking.
Yeah, these were exactly the stories that were going through my mind. Like, just get yourself home. Okay. Any other holidays that you like or that you particularly celebrate or surprise you in the UK?
Apart from bank holidays, they were actually never really useful for me because I never had like an office job as a staff. So they were never useful whatsoever. And Guy Fawkes.
What about St. Patrick's Day?
Oh yeah, no, I get that. St. Patrick's Day, I get. That's like super normal.
You get it?
Oh yeah, completely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because it's like he's the, main Irish guy. He's the patron saint, and he's like a figure for Ireland, so everyone celebrates him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised when people who are not Irish celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
I think it's
nice, but I think it's just weird.
There's two reasons. It's a fun holiday. Two, there's lots of beer going on. I think
the
these are the
Irish
reasons.
holiday. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And everyone loves the Irish.
Yeah.
Right,
So everybody
so-
wants to join in and for a day pretend that you're Irish.
Yeah, and then we all really wish we were Irish. I think everyone wishes they were Irish. I
And
definitely
had
wish
an
I was
Irish
Irish.
accent. Mm.
Exactly. So, I mean, the least we can do is just have fun with the Irish and wear like a green
stuff.
outfit, yeah, on the day. But that's awesome. Yeah.
So have you ever gone to St. Patrick's celebrations?
Yeah, but not like anything specific. I think I just went out, I just had drinks. I don't think I was ever wearing anything like a leprechaun outfit or anything. But I was kind of definitely out on St. Patrick's Day, and I would love to actually go to Ireland on St. Patrick's Day. That would be super fun.
Oh yeah.
Like crazy drunk situation. I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to go, although, as you know, like crazy drunk is not my vibe. So
not mine
maybe I
anymore.
won't enjoy
Maybe I
it
would-
that much anymore. Participate in St. Patrick's
She
a
should
bit more.
participate in St.
Yeah,
Patrick's
because
Day.
it's so big. It's big in London, right?
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
it's big across the UK, but there is such a big Irish community in London that it's a proper party.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it just spreads out of the Irish community as well. Someone becomes this, I don't know, sort of like a maybe Halloween, this sort of vague holiday of vaguely celebrating Ireland, but everyone just wants to get drunk, so everyone's getting involved. So it's like loses its, I think, like specificity in a way, but not in a bad way.
Yeah, it's just
It's just like a big piss up
excuse to
in green colours.
exactly
In green colours, in green shades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the Notting Hill Carnival? Have you ever been?
Never. I'd love to go, but I've never been.
But I feel like my time to go has kind of passed in a sense because
Don't say that.
not in a sense that I'm too old to do it or something, but I feel like I would have enjoyed it a lot more a few years ago.
Okay, yeah.
And now I don't enjoy crowds that much, so I'm not sure whether I would feel
Yeah, maybe.
the fun vibe, you know?
I think you have to be definitely in that party mood to go, and but then the history of it is fascinating, and I've just always around the time I always read bits and bobs about its history and its origins and what it used to be, what is now, and I think it's probably the best London tradition. It's like London's, you know, it's certain part of London identity, and I hope it will forever be celebrated, and hopefully it will always be trying to be close to its roots, you know. It's a brilliant thing, but never been, but maybe I always just seem to be busy around that time, or forget about it,
Or I tend to be away as well because that's the bank holiday.
That's a bank holiday.
So very often you're just away. But I talked to my friends who went last year, and they said there's some weird crackling. Do we have a mouse?
No, I think it's just water.
Okay.
We're sat in a different room this time.
Yeah.
For our listeners, so we hear new noises. around us.
Unfamiliar surroundings for me. The Notting Hill Carnival. My friends went last year, and they said it was so busy that you just like stand in a wall of crowd, and it's difficult to move, and you lose your friends immediately, and then you need to find one another, and I don't know, it just felt like not sure if I want to join that. It's a shame because I like the idea of it. It's beautiful, and like you said, the tradition and the origin of it is beautiful as well. But just not sure about the execution. Although I'm only basing my opinion on what I've heard from other people and like the videos that they've shown me, you know. So, but yeah, beautiful tradition. I think we need more carnivals in Poland. I don't think we have.
But then I don't know, because it's not really English tradition, is it? So I think
that's right.
So
it's
it's not
London's thing.
And as far as I remember, and I do not have the world's best memory, it's the Caribbean community in London. That's how it started, around them, and well, they kind of, I think, started it back in the day, and made it really theirs. And I think that's what's the most beautiful thing about it, is that kind of spirit and music and that kind of cultural aspect. So I think in Poland it'll be difficult because we've got like almost no other nationalities in Poland. I mean, we do, but not to the extent of whole communities living in a certain place to create something from themselves, as in like to kind of almost like.
But we can have a carnival celebrating the Polish culture.
Yeah, I wouldn't be up for that.
You wouldn't be up for that? Are you saying you don't appreciate the Polish culture?
Because how would you imagine it to be? Like, what would you imagine it to be like?
I don't know. Like, okay, I imagine. So it's probably happening somewhere in Warsaw. So everywhere on the streets of Warsaw, there's people wearing the folklore, traditional Mazovian or Kashubian
Oh, I thought you meant in London.
In London, even better. Okay. Pierogi stalls, beer stalls. The different Polish
Poland
beers.
needs that, because Poland is already very Polish. Like, I think we need to go the other way.
Like, oh my god, it could be like the Oktoberfest. My imagination has been sparked. Oktoberfest, but the Polish tradition with the Polish sausage, the Polish white sausage, and the Polish beers and the Polish.
Yeah, okay.
I can see this happening.
I can
this will
see
be
it happening,
totally copying Oktoberfest and calling it like.
But I think
September.
our faces express very different reactions to that vision.
I'm gonna start this. The audience, please help me start this new set now.
Do you know what? I think actually
What?
It boils down to actually the essence of this podcast. To be honest, for me.
In what sense?
That because I feel like I'm always in between, and I'm not really very Polish in a lot of ways anymore. In the same way, I'm not like very British in a lot of ways. So I'm kind of this foreign thing in between.
Yeah,
which we're exploring through this podcast. Then to go and celebrate like staple Polish things, but almost like here's all the Polish things, and we're going to wave a Polish flag and drink Polish beer and have Polish sausage, and that's a terrifying vision for me. That's like, I would not want to be a part of this. And separately, I will go along to watch like Mazowsze, the traditional folk dance troupe. I think it's absolutely gorgeous thing, and I'm for appreciation of all these things. Pierogi and everything. But I just don't like strictly national fests. I'm a bit. I always step out, and I think it would be the same for most nationalities, especially the ones I live in. Maybe if someone had like an English, everything just English fest. I don't think I would be comfortable in participating. Yeah, but that's just me and kind of where I stand like culturally and.
That's interesting because. I get what you mean.
Yeah, like your vision scared me.
Okay, fine. You don't have to come. I'm not going to invite you. But I still like my vision. I would still come along. I do understand what you mean though, and there is that slight like you can very easily cross the border and end up on the wrong side of being like, oh, like this is like
Poland's the best country.
Exactly, like when it goes towards nationalism or any extremity really, then I'm like, oh no, this is not me, because I don't tend to be extreme in anything. I always try to understand someone else's point of view. So being extreme, not my thing. So in that sense, I understand that this kind of festival can be crossing a line. But at the same time, when I look at Oktoberfest, which is maybe not necessarily...
I think it's just celebration of beer.
Exactly. Maybe it's not necessarily celebration of the German as a country, Germany as a country, but many German traditions. And I'm totally fine with that. And I'm like, so many people go and, pretend to be German for a day. And
See, that's the thing. If you had like a Polish vodka holiday, then you could do that, because then there's a celebration of vodka, like all the Polish vodka, and maybe like have like a niche little bit where you introduce other vodkas from other countries, but the main event is Polish vodka, and then you can kind of folk it up, But then it's not like Polish festival.
Get it?
Of Polish things.
So like the Polish food festival, for example. So they just make it around
like
food.
Polish food festival. Now that's and make it interesting. And then
make it interesting. Let's make a boring one. Let's make a super boring festival.
Just my final thing. I know I'm the negative one here, but it's okay. I can be the Grinch of this podcast, of this episode. When I see Polish food stalls with just bloody sausages, well, they're not like bloody, but just sausages, Polish sausage and pierogi, and I love pierogi, but there's so much more to Polish cuisine. And also I think we're at this stage in Poland where, well, we're not in Poland, but Polish cuisine is kind of going back to its roots, before the communism, before the staple pork, whatever, with cabbage and potato. To kind of explore what food traditions were, and they were really great. There's so much to do, and I wish we did more in the mainstream to celebrate that food diversity we had in Poland, rather than serve people sausages. I mean, ban the sausage for a bit, just to give all the foods space to re-emerge as like Polish classics. So I'm against the sausage, as a Polish food thing, because it's so annoying, just taking over any other Polish culinary expression. So I'm gonna stop grinching now, but
okay,
that's my rant.
But that was a very good point, and I would like to. Okay, I think the essence of
just
what
chipping
we just
away
said,
your vision.
I know you've just left me a crumb of my vision. No, I agree with that, and still, I think that it would be beautiful to organise a Polish food, true traditional Polish food festival.
I'll come to that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Let's move on.
Let's move on for the
no more Polish nationalism.
But actually, on this point, this is interesting how St. George's Day is not really celebrated. St. Patrick's Day is. St. David's Day is.
Yeah.
St. Andrew's Day is in Scotland. It's celebrated in Scotland, but in St. George's Day, it's sort of like people know about it, but they're too awkward. It's like too awkward to approach.
And that's true. There's no celebrations. I mean, like it is in the calendar, but
yeah, no one really celebrates it. And if you are, you probably accused of being some kind of fascist,
Maybe that's why people don't celebrate it. You just gave us the reason why.
Which shouldn't be true, and it's and it probably isn't true for like 99% of people celebrating. But it's sad how sometimes, say, flag equals certain political views, right? Where it's just celebration of your own culture and country, your heritage. But it's just an interesting point.
Yes, granted.
If anyone knows why, if they celebrate St. George's Day, I would actually like to know how you celebrate it. And if you don't, then why you don't? Do you not feel like it's an important holiday, or you'd be a bit like weary to celebrate it? Because we have like lots of patriotic national holidays in Poland, and everyone's like, game. Everyone's quite proud of celebrating like Independence Day and Constitution Day. The big. I mean, Independence Day is being slightly taken over by fascists, but but it's still like everyone else is fighting to keep this holiday just a proud, joyous occasion. But yeah, St. George's Day in England is kind of like brushed under the carpet.
No, I never thought about it.
Oh, there you go. Food for thought.
You're opening my mind.
But not sausage for thought. What's your least favourite holiday? I'm cringing on.
Ooh, my least favourite holiday. I don't know if I focus on such things. I don't think about my mind.
You and your positivity.
I know. I work on this.
No,
but I think naturally, just my mind doesn't think about what do you not like. Just try and focus on the things that you don't like. I don't do that.
I want to have your brain.
Do you have your least favorite?
But if I say Halloween now, I'm gonna be so unpopular. My popularity is gonna go down, so I'm just gonna say anything. Oh, actually, maybe New Year's Eve. Is that a holiday? I really don't like it. I think it's just, it's always exhausting. It's never really fun. Yeah, it's just really kind of
Overrated.
massively overrated.
Yeah.
And you're kind of being pushed to celebrate something that's, well, I guess every holiday is an abstract to point, but just, and yeah, it's just really not my game. And it's about timing as well, when it's like the darkest time of the year, and you've just had Christmas and the busiest month probably of the entire year, and you're just tired, and you just want to be probably just hibernating somewhere after those few days after Christmas, and suddenly it's like bang, you have to party, you have to go out, and it's big, think of all the things that you've liked about this year, and think about all the resolutions you're going to make for the next year, and it's just like, think of it now. And I think most people just want to have a nap.
That's true. Granted.
On New Year's Eve.
However, to present a different point of view.
Yes.
So if there was no celebration of the New Year's Eve, of the New Year, no celebration of New Year beginning, how would you feel about that? Would you feel better?
Yeah, I guess
would
so.
you? Yeah.
There was no
would you not
celebration.
feel a little bit like, we've just entered into a new, maybe not necessarily era like this year, but a new, this is a new chapter in a way.
Oh, I'm all for that, and that's really, I think, could be really beneficial, but not with that sort of, I don't think there's that whole bang factor is really necessary. We have to fire millions of pounds of fireworks all over the world, and we have to celebrate. It'd be nice to just if it was just a quiet evening, that's what it needs to be. Kind of reflective. Okay, we finished the year. It's been always a great thing and a terrible thing. And then now we're soaking in energy for the new year ahead, and it's great. We have a glass of champagne, and then we just carry on. Rather than so many people stress about it and they're thinking and asking about each other's plans for New Year's Eve, for 2 months before, and it can be just really unnecessary. It's just a party, and yet because it's the end of the year party, it's built up to be this huge thing. Concerts and everything. There's so much Yeah, so I think it's, I'm not against it per se. I think just the way it's celebrated is quite overrated and unnecessary, and actually doesn't really help reflection, of anything. It's always just some snippets of news torn away over the last few months and
terrible concerts, at least in Parliament.
Terrible, awful. Guys, if you have never experienced it, you will never understand. But maybe Google New Year's Eve, Poland, Sylvester, that's the Polish word.
Yeah, weirdly enough, Sylvester.
Yeah, which means Sylvester, I think. That's a name, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
I think so.
That's weird.
But again, it's some kind of saint, right?
Probably.
It's probably related to religion. And this year was particularly bad. Who thought of reigniting the love for disco polo, which is I am very tolerant when it comes to anything, really anything.
I'm not.
Music as well.
Yeah, I'm not
quite tolerant, but disco polo, pronounced disco polo in Polish, so you understand, should not exist. There's no right for disco polo to exist.
Yeah,
it's a terrible genre of music, and I don't get it. I don't like it. I would not like anybody to like it.
Physically hurts you. Because I was forced to listen to it this time round, and after a few hours you're physically sick. Physically your brain is sick. It's you're being
attacked.
Yeah, it's actually intrusive. It's kind of like eating McDonald's for hours.
Yes.
It's the same physical reaction when you just want to smash your parents' TV up in million pieces.
Yeah.
But you're forced to sit there and smile.
Yeah.
It's absolutely terrible. And yeah, I do not know how it's been back. Like, why? But there's lots of things about Poland I will never understand as well.
Yes.
That's a different podcast.
Yeah. But I get your point about celebrating New Year's Eve now. I get it. I also agree that I would tweak certain things about the way it is celebrated. The fact we celebrate it, I think is good. I mean, I like it. I like the fact that there is, you know, like you mark this occasion that something new is beginning, something old is going away. I like the idea behind it, but like you said, I think the timing is really bad, because if it happened like sometime in January, I mean, a good party is exactly what you need in January, because it's such a dark and dull month without a point really. There's nothing to look forward to in January unless you have a birthday.
I agree with you completely on January. Yeah.
So if it was like end of January and then you have this like big party.
Okay. See, I think if I were, now we're just modifying dates. My ideal date for New Year's Eve would be the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year.
But that's just before Christmas.
Yeah. And I would kind of...
Oh, so you would still bundle them together, Christmas.
Yeah, because then you're in a party mood, you still celebrate, you know, you just want to party really before Christmas, and you're seeing all these people and everything's happening, and there's a whole buzz in the air because of everything, Christmas songs, celebrations. And it's like really amazing. I think that actually makes sense, because it's in nature gives us that date of that's the shortest day of the year, and after which everything kind of starts again. So then you've got still a whole long period of winter, but you know it's just the beginning of, it's kind of coming to spring. There's more like, and then, yeah, nothing's like in the middle, because I don't want to party in January. I don't want to do anything in January. I want to be under my blanket and maybe, you know, do some exercise and just kind of quiet down. And I think it'd be maybe fun to kind of have it all out of the system, and then just actually give ourselves that time to just do less for like 2 months, and then just plan this new year slowly. And then we've got spring and summer, and like I'm out and all day long, and you know, I want to party and meet everyone and have fun. But I think it's nice to have those, like, give ourselves that time. Whereas New Year's Eve is that awkward time, like a few days after Christmas. So you haven't been doing anything for like 4 days, and you don't know what your name is and what day of the week it is. And then you have New Year's Eve, and then you have New Year's Day, and it kind of breaks up that rhythm. It makes no sense. I honestly spent 3 weeks of like, I had a 3-week holiday period this time around, and I didn't know what the hell was happening, who I was, what I was doing in my life, what day of the week it was, what of the calendar day it was, because it was just a holiday and a work day and nothing's back to work.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just weird.
I like how you've linked it to nature, and that you're right in the sense that nature almost gives us like an opportunity to celebrate this end of like or the beginning of new thing, like
like a new phase in the cycle.
Yeah.
But as ever, we don't listen, do we? Humans.
No, we don't.
But I want to end on the really fun holiday that we actually didn't mention.
Oh, okay, which one?
Pancake Day.
Oh yes!
Now that's
course.
Now, okay, so I take my Guy Fawkes thing back, because fireworks were great, but pancakes are the best thing ever, and that is a great holiday. That is the best holiday in the UK. Pancake Day.
I concur. Yes.
Yes, we agree as well. Wow.
Awesome. Yes, great holiday. But I've missed it so many times. Again, like, I'm just not attentive when it comes to holidays. But I love the idea of it, and I love pancakes. Literally, pancakes are one of my favorite foods ever.
Yes.
Savory, sweet, in between. I just love it.
Yeah, it can't go wrong. Exactly.
We should celebrate it together, because you often make pancakes for me, right? And you're good at making pancakes, even though sometimes you think that they are not good. I always think that they are delicious.
Thank you. It was a hard journey to be where I am with pancakes. But yes, cooking, I mean, because I've always loved them. But yeah, that's the best holiday.
Okay.
So what's your favourite topping of a pancake?
I like savoury.
Okay.
So I normally would say cheese and egg with spinach, but since now I've gone vegan,
okay.
I'm not only gonna have to make vegan pancake base, but also vegan topping. So that's gonna be a challenge for me this year. Well, I mean, that's gonna be a challenge for you making vegan pancakes for me.
Yeah. That's true. Oh, God.
Are you into
With my
savoury or sweet pancakes?
Cooking skills. I think both, really, depending on just how I feel. And I love all kinds of toppings, and because I guess you could call them crepes as well sometimes. And I don't know exactly what the. But I love my American pancakes, actually.
The fluffy ones.
The fluffy ones with berries and this kind of like cinnamon butter thing. That I can eat. Like, to be honest, actually, I never have. There's one place in London I always go to, and I love those pancakes. And so I need 3 big pancakes in a stack. And I'm always super hungry when I go there because I can't wait for those pancakes. And I've never ever finished them.
Because they're
because it's so filling. And they're delicious. But like after a second pancake, I'm struggling.
Is it Gales?
No, it's not. I have finished pancakes in Gales because they're delicious as well, but they're much smaller. That's the diner, the American diner place.
Oh, is it
free advertising, guys?
Oh my god! Yeah, is it near Old Street?
They have like chains all over.
Oh, do they? Okay, I think I've only been to.
We can go there now. Celebrate pancakes.
Is it around?
It is around. In a mysterious room in our basement right now.
If they've got vegan pancakes,
they have vegan pancakes.
Oh my god, let's go! Yes, yes. I haven't had pancakes for like a month. Because I only had it.
And I have vegan pancakes. I have a whole vegan menu. So on this note, you're welcome, the diner. You've made someone very happy and probably maybe made new customers.
Okay. Let's end this podcast. Let's go to the diner.
Yeah, we're going to the diner. So finishing this up. If you've liked our ramblings on British holidays and what we think of them, what we're surprised by them, and how.
And how we want to modify many of them.
Yeah, we've got so many solutions. So someone should hit us up from the government to move things around. But subscribe to our podcast. You can subscribe on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean.
And YouTube as well.
And YouTube as well. We're also on YouTube now.
And Stitcher.
Very exciting. And Stitcher. Exactly. All these platforms have so many options. And give us a like and give us a rating. That'd be really, really cool.
And a review. If you would like to give us a review, that would be wonderful because it would help other potential listeners to figure out what we're all about and whether it's worth listening to us. So it would be absolutely awesome. That would really help us grow this... grow our community. So we would really, really appreciate it. And also, you can follow us on Instagram at Your Local Foreigners. You can send us a message, contact us, or you can take a screenshot of the podcast, your favorite moment, and share it on Instagram with your friends. That would also really help.
That's a great idea.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being with us and listening to this episode. And we are going to speak with you in a couple of weeks. Speak later.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.